Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. The weather has consumed us all, subject to being, trapped within this room for the past couple of days. The weather is atrocious, we all know what it's like, and hopefully you're having as much fun as me. But I guess, you know what, school's off, work's off, so, some more time to myself, which is lovely. But today I've been sitting down, I've been racking my head of a video that I want to do, and nothing's really been coming to mind. I didn't want to play FIFA. I'm sick of FIFA. I'm genuinely sick at the sight of it. Career mode is so slow for me to get out because I just don't enjoy FIFA. I was racking my mind, any FM experiments? No, I don't want to do that. Any discussions? No, there's not really. And then it came in my mind, I was like, maybe there is a bit of a discussion. As a discussion as to, this season, there has been a lot of poor performers at Celtic. Players who can do a lot better, and we know we can see a lot better of them. And I think a lot of fans have came to their wits' end with a lot of players. You sit at the games at Parkhead and you hear so many players, so many fans saying to certain players, "Oh, sell them, get them out, don't need them anymore, not themselves, not what they were last year." And you hear it time and time and time again. And it got me thinking, what players this season, judging by their performances so far up to this point, would I not so much mind losing in the summer? Now, I don't think Celtic are in a position where we can go out and, just sell players for the sake of it and just get the money, because right now I don't think the depth at Celtic is fantastic. By no means. I think we're in a poor position for squad depth, especially when it comes to first team quality, especially when pushing forward in the European front. Domestically, we probably do have a good enough depth to continue plodding along, winning the league title and getting points there. But for European games, we do not have a depth at all to just go out and sell players. But I've compiled a list of 5 players who I think, you know what, if they were to go in this summer, I'm not going to mind. I think we can do better. There is other options out there. We can sign a replacement if we get decent money. 5 players. And they're not 5 players who I don't like to sit back and throw players at the club and think to myself, no, hate you and all that. Because I respect every player who puts on the Celtic kit. At the end of the day, they're a Celtic player. They try their best. And they have probably been very good at points in their career. But I'm going to give you my 5 for players who I wouldn't mind if we lost in the summer transfer window. So I'm going to go in order of the players you'd expect me to say to the players you least expect me to say. Can I talk? So starting at the top, I'm going to go for Doris de Vries. I think he's a player now who has shown many times he is more of a liability than a decent enough backup. You look at clubs who have 2 keepers who, if one gets injured, you're not too worried if a second one comes on. More or less with big clubs, you see like Sergio Romero and Caballero and such being backups for those big teams down in England who can do just as good a job as their first team keepers. But up here, Doris de Vries has proved, and I've never really taken to him, that he is nowhere near the ability of Craig Gordon, I'd say. Craig Gordon isn't exactly world class, isn't amazing, but when it comes to shot stopping attributes, it's hard to match up with Craig Gordon. He is a fantastic shot stopper, and recently Doris de Vries has not done himself any favours with showing that he's not the shot stopper Craig Gordon is. I think he's a man who lacks confidence, who isn't as good as Gordon, full stop. And as someone who, if we ultimately lost, I think we could bring in a backup goalkeeper who is better. I think there's so many options, whether we're looking in our own country to someone similar to Scott Bain, who could arguably do a better job as a backup keeper, but he's probably not going to get that chance. Scott Bain, options around domestically that we could go for, but there's options we could pay little sums of money to go anywhere in Europe to sign a goalkeeper as a backup. I think that would still be better than Doris de Vries. The man's, in his late 30s. He was brought in by Brendan Rodgers with confidence that he would be the first team keeper. He was given that chance, and with that chance he showed he wasn't going to be good enough. And that's where really I said to myself, he's not going to be great, and he's proved that recently with his performance against Zenit St Petersburg. I feel like he's just really not as confident as what we'd like him to be or what we need him to be, and he's a player who I think there's just many more options out there. So Doris de Vries, if we lost him in the summer, I don't think it'd impact the squad heavily, but as I said, I think we're in the position where we need him just now, never mind not to do with wanting him, more that we need him. If we signed a replacement, that is, I would, not mind too much if we got rid of Doris de Vries. He's probably a smashing guy, but I just think we could do a lot better and try to get a keeper who's a better backup than him. The second player we're going to talk about, now I was torn between these 2 centre-halves. I was torn between Jozo Simunovic, but the one I'm going to go with is Dedrick Boyata. Someone who I think has came off the back of a lot of criticism this season, but before his recent injury, I think he started picking it up a little bit and showing like, right, I'm going to get back to my best here. But at the same time, he's just a player who I feel like, has peaked, well and truly peaked. I don't think we're going to get anything better out of him. He's got, he is a solid player, and once again, it's this situation. If we don't get someone that's better, then keep him, because what would be the sense in getting rid of him when we need as many centre-halves as we can? But he's just a player who, if we brought in someone and he left, I wouldn't be devastated about, personally. I feel like he's peaked, he's done his best, he's getting that bit older, he's getting into the later side of his 20s. He's still solid enough, but he's just been a bomb scare too many times for my liking. I've never really took to him this season. I've been critical towards him, I will admit that, and it can seem a shame sometimes, but I just don't feel like he's as strong as what we'd like him to be. And Joseph Simonovic hasn't been much better. Recently he's proved that he's not as, as competent, confident as we'd like. He's been as much as a bomb scare, but the reason I went with Boyata over Simonovic, I feel like Simonovic a bit younger and that bit more hungry, and has the time and chance to improve, and the performances that Simonovic showed us last season really says to me that I think, put these bad performances behind him and he can go forward and be that good and be better. Be the £10 million player that they were talking about in the summer, whereas Boyata, I don't think he'd be a £10 million player. I feel like he's a player who, once he leaves Celtic, will go down the slope a little bit. And I think we've seen his best quite well and truly. I don't think he could get much better. He's too much of a bomb scale, and once again, just would not mind if he was to leave. No disrespect towards these players. Honestly, I really do respect them, but just wouldn't mind if we sold them. Number 3 then, and it's the player who everyone probably expected to hear on here, and it's Mikael Lustig. Hands down, love the guy. There's no question. He's played for Celtic, 7 years now? Incredibly passionate, incredibly committed, but his performances this season has spoke volumes of that he's past it. His performances haven't been great. He's been getting slated left, right, centre. He's not been having a great season at all, and he's cost us a lot, I think, this season. And he, I think, is one of the main reasons we look so shaky and inconfident at the back. He's just not been great, and a lot of fans have lost their patience. A lot of fans have lost their love for him. Personally, I still love his passion that he has and his hunger as a Celtic player, but the quality on the park at the end of the day is what's most important. As much as we love seeing passionate players and players who play for the badge, etc., quality does have to come first, especially when we want to move forward on a bigger scale, on that European scale. So Mikael Lustig, I think, is done. I wouldn't mind if he was to leave in the summer. He's now got the last few months to try and pick himself up and show that he's still a good player, but I think it's going to be hard for him to do that. I think even the manager at this point will be losing faith in him. He got sent off at the weekend. He's not been having a great run of form recently, and ultimately he's just too error prone to continue as the first team right back, I think, and we should look into better options, and if we do, I wouldn't mind seeing Mikael Lustig leave the club in the summer. I now have a plate of dinner in front of me, so I'm now going to rush the last 2 players because it has daunted me, and I'm dying to eat it. It's a lovely steak pie, so I mean, let's get this last 2 done. This one I think is going to be the one that's most surprising to people, but I'm going to go for Ryan Christie for number 4. And I feel like this is a player who's impressed at Aberdeen, probably could add to the Celtic team, and a lot of people are going to judge me for putting here. I think a lot of people want to see Ryan Christie get a chance to the Celtic team, but I don't know, there's just something about Ryan Christie. I just feel like he's not going to add much more to the Celtic team, and I could be proven completely wrong. And if he turns out to be this fantastic player for Celtic, when he's not so, because it's not going to happen, and this is just because I want to fill the list, I wouldn't mind. I don't want him to go, I just wouldn't mind if he did go. I don't think it'd be the end of the world. I just feel like we've got players who are better than Ryan Christie. Armstrong, McGregor, and Cham, all these central midfield names, Masonda, and then we've got players in the wing. I just don't feel like we need him as greatly as what we did when we originally planned on signing him those 2 years ago under Ronnie Deila. He's been out on loan now and he has been impressing for Aberdeen, but I feel like he's at Gary Mackay-Steven kind of level where when he comes to Celtic he's going to be similar, and maybe Aberdeen is where he's going to ultimately thrive, a team like there. He was wanted down south, which shows he does have talent because, apparently down south is where he might be nowadays. But if he was to come back to Celtic in the summer and then leave to go permanently to Aberdeen or anywhere else, I don't think it'd be the end of the world. I'm not saying I necessarily want him to, I just don't think it would be the end of the world. So don't slaughter me. He probably does deserve more of a chance at Celtic. Just don't think it would be the end of the world. Can't solidify that enough. I just think there are better options, and maybe even better options further afield where we can kind of, you know, dip into to sign rather than have Ryan Christie. Which brings me to the final player, and I know I just brought him up there saying he was maybe a better option than Ryan Christie, but I wouldn't mind if he left completely different as to last summer, Stuart Armstrong. A player who has struggled recently with injury problems, so he's not had much of a chance to show himself, but this season has not even been half the player he was last season. And the price tag that was getting thrown about for him in the summer has probably well and truly gone. We're not going to get money such as £12 million for him. When we were hearing these rumours of Southampton and such want to buy him, that's not going to happen again ultimately, but if it was to, I'd bite the hand off for that money, because this season he hasn't been the player that we want him to be. Now I think he's still got a lot of time now if he comes back from injury to try and show that he still can be that player. Whether he will or not though is a different story, and I just don't know, there's something this season that's just been so disappointing about him, and I love him. I think he's a magnificent player when he plays his best football, and he showed that last season in the Invincible season. He was brilliant. But this season, there's just been so many times you look at him and go, what's happened? It seems like he doesn't want to beat the club sometimes, and this whole contract situation doesn't matter. And it's not like he committed a long future to Celtic with the extension. It was great news he extended, but he didn't extend it by a lot, did he? And I don't think he's fully committed to the club. So I wouldn't mind if he was to go, especially if it's for a decent sum of money, because ultimately we could use that money to maybe get someone even better than Stuart Armstrong. Don't get me wrong, still think he's a great player and I would love to see him stay at the club, but only if he improves his performances upon what he's given us so far this season. There's been times you look at him and go, oh, maybe he's back. But then he's just went the next week and went back to those flat, lifeless performances that don't help us at all. Which is gutting, because we know he has the capability to be the best player at the club sometimes. So Stuart Armstrong, if he was to go in the summer, it wouldn't break my heart, because ultimately we can maybe get decent money for the guy. So aye. That about does it for the video. If you have enjoyed, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know 5 players you wouldn't mind if they were to leave the club, and let me know what you thought of my list of 5 and if you agree or disagree. But until next time, I'll see you later.